All right, hey, I'm Michael. Obviously, you know Abdul as well. We're here going to just talk a little bit about why we're building the WP and how the next 12 months look like. So depending on when you view this video, it could be day 0 or it could be month 9 as you're looking through this. And we'll see how close we get to what we're thinking right now. And I think every day things change. So I'd be surprised if we're nowhere close to where we think we're going to be here. So, I just want to say, first of all, welcome. We love having this team. I think it's been really fun to build something together, and we're excited where we're going. I think we're going to see a huge shift to this type of product, and it's something we're going to go after. Anything you want to add before we kind of jump in here?
No, I think like you said, it can be, today is I think 15th of May, just to put this on record. Correct. That 15th of May 2020 that we are making this video, and we have just started. We have just completed a sprint 1, right, in the company. So
we're not complete yet.
Yeah, we are at the end of the we are at the end of it. We completed sprint 0. Now we are almost at the end of sprint 1. So we are just making this video to just tell you our concept of what we are trying to do and how we look of how BionicWP will be externally and internally both, because both are very important for us, like how we come out, how our customers use us, and how we kind of develop ourselves and our culture, a development culture. Basically, that's the main idea of this video here, like a development culture that we want to bring in to the company.
Yeah. So I think the first thing to kind of talk about is why we're building this, right? We're kind of fed up with the current managed WP hosts out there. I was fed up with it. I tested, probably 5 or 6 different ones and continued to have the same issues where they kept telling me to talk to my developer when that wasn't always the issue, right? I think I tried, the one that's, true to some people's heart in our company, and I still didn't have necessarily the best experience, even with that one as well. But, I think for us, keeping the customers at the forefront of everything that we do is going to be very important. I think this is probably where Abdul and I butt heads the most so far. I'm way over delivering to our clients, and Abdul wants to help put some parameters around that. It's probably the same problem that I have with our main agency as well, where I try to do so much for our clients. And I don't know if you want to kind of hit on that as well, but I think putting customers first, almost to the point of where I'm doing it, and I think I would say maybe taught you of how I look at it as well, but now you're kind of pulling me back a little bit closer to yours. So why don't you just kind of give me a couple thoughts there?
No, I think definitely for both of us, one thing is very clear, why we are building this. We're fed up with the current scenario of managed hosting providers, and not just us. You just go to Facebook or any Reddit communities, it will take you 30 minutes to understand why we are building this kind of a thing from an agency, from a customer point of view, because none of us have been we're not like those people who have we want to be coming from big hosting companies, stuff like that. We're okay, we are customers ourselves, right? I was with a hosting company, I saw how it works. I saw, okay, things that we have to do there to improve it, things like that. And now we're okay, we are the customer, we're putting ourselves. So one thing that is very important in how we're building it is that we don't have an external kind of a fictionary persona in our mind, right? That, this is some fictional person as a persona and we are building for them. We actually have real people, internal users, because we have our own agency, the 51 Blogs. So that's kind of in our mind as one of our customers, right? Okay, how does 51 Blogs want to use a platform like BionicWP? But then coming to the point of customer service and putting the customer first, I think one thing very important is that Michael and me both kind of put customers first. There's only a difference of how much we kind of look at it, okay, how far we have to go. So I think there's no kind of, and I think this will be with the team as well, that we'll always expect them putting the customer first. If there's something that customers bring up, we'll be having NPS meetings, stuff like that, the whole kind of the process that we want to follow to make sure that the customer's feedback comes to us. So I would say that would trump a lot of things that happen within the company of how we do things and make it. And that's why the next points that we'll be discussing also kind of from a customer's point of view, making sure that our product is simple, our product is usable. But when it comes to customer service, definitely there are some difference of opinions that I have and you have as well, Michael. So I know, I think we both see now that once we, because we have talked quite a bit about this, so we both see like where we both of us are coming from. And I think that is one of the good things that our customers will feel with Bionic WP, right? Because like they will always feel that, because from a operations point of view, I sometimes want to push back, like okay, let's contain this, let's set a parameter this. Then you come in and say, okay, no, we need to do this and we need to do that. So I think that's always good for our customers, right? Like whatever happens between us, kind of a thing. But the customers will always get a better experience because of that. And I think that's something that should always keep happening. And like I think we both agree that this is like an ongoing kind of a conversation. What do you think?
No, I 100% agree. I think even the situation we had, was it this weekend, where you were like, hey, of course I'm going to do it, right? But we need to let clients know that this is not the norm, right? Like we can't be, like we have a migration team. It works Monday through Friday, right? But if somebody wants a migration on Saturday or Sunday, we probably shouldn't always be able to jump and do that just because the client needs us to. We have to be able to set some parameters around that. But we still did it in this case because we were around with the right team. It was the right thing to do for this client. And, I think us having those conversations back and forth made me realize that, hey, yeah, I have to set parameters for our clients, but at the same time, try to set, but do better than most hosts is what.
That is clear. Like that's something,
I would say even better, not even just better than most hosts. We are going to do it better than most hosts. That's my goal, right? Like, So, the other thing I think that we want to talk about is, we're going to develop a tool that's simple for customers. We have a customer in our head that we are focusing on, and a certain person actually, and this person's technical knowledge that will allow us to get to, to allow us, hey, can this person run the platform by themselves without us at all, right? And that's kind of you talk about user cases or personas. That's one of the personas we're going after. Then we'll say two other guys that are very, very technically advanced, and will they be able to use the platform and do the things that they want to do, right? Yeah. So the first guy, not as technically advanced, I think we both agree. The second group, they can do everything we know. They know just as much as we do, right? But can the platform support them as well? Yeah. But also making it simple, right, to use. That's like you and I have seen with usability, how much a big deal that is for us. How we had a project management system previously, never used it because it wasn't usability, and now we have a new one and we use it all the time. I don't know if you want to kind of chime in there.
Yeah, but I think we can even tell people the names as well. Like before it was, we used to use ClickUp, right? And I remember, like, I think in like 6 months it was like when I was there working, when ClickUp was there, I think I hardly used to like kind of look at it. I used to like kind of, I would say like, let's do it on Slack kind of thing. Let's do it in messages rather than me. It wasn't that bad. I don't know why. Like
I don't know why either. I don't know why. It's just
I think
as soon as we saw the other platform, we both realized like, wow, we really weren't using this other platform, right?
So, and we now use Monday.com, which is amazing, and like right now it kind of runs the whole kind of almost all of our processes for us, and with this automations, it's amazing. So we definitely understand the usability part, and like you said, we have maybe two set of personas right now in front of us, one technical, one non-technical. So the difference is that for us, these people are real. Like these are people we can talk to. Like these are not fictional kind of characters that we've developed.
Exactly.
These are real people, and these people will be there testing the platform, right? They'll be doing the tests on the platform, seeing. So why we've chosen one technical and not one non-technical persona is also, I think we should clarify on that as well, because the thing is that we have to make sure that we balance both of them, right? But like because we'll be having customers that are non-technical, and we'll be having customers who are technical or who have developers doing stuff for them who are technical, right? So we don't want our platform to be so kind of, you'd say like simple or so like dumbed down, like we don't even have the features that these people need. So making sure that we have the features are there, so these guys like who are technical get everything that they need, but that at the same time those features are so simple to use, right? That someone like who's non-technical can use it. So I think that's the kind of the thing I see, that the features are there. We will never compromise on the features. The only thing that will kind of be there is like, I think me personally, and I think Michael as well, like I think we'll be very tough on how simple those things are to use, right? Like we need the feature, but we need it so simple, like maybe click and go kind of a thing, like you click on it and it just does it. Taking the kind of the, I think that's where some things happen, because I used to tell the developers when we started that we have to take like the technicalities on our side, right? If we are building a feature, we have to give the customer the simplest experience we can give, but take the technicality on our side. And then I remember that when we were discussing the sprint last time, I was telling them, make sure that you keep the technical stuff simple. Make sure that, so that I was thinking, okay, like, because then the thing is that even though we are taking the technicalities on our side, the solution that we come up with should be elegant. It should be simple. It should be maintainable on a technical side as well. We don't need technical debt. That's what we call it. Because, and that's what I've been telling the team from day one, that please don't keep any technical debt. Don't try to do stuff in a hacky way or like kind of things around that if we have to fix 3 months later, we'll have to pay a big interest on that, right? Yeah. So technical debt is like the highest interest rate loan you can get kind of a thing, right? So you have to make sure that you don't kind of get that. And that's, I think the lead developer that we have is like making sure that we don't do that. And like kind of Irfan is his name, so he's making sure that we make sure that the product is simple. And then with me and Michael, I think kind of making sure that the usability part, things like that are simple. So I think for us it's very important, and like I think we said that before as well, like for us simplicity is the litmus test. If like me and Michael, maybe if the product is technical, like feature is technical, we can use it. But like I can tell you, when I'll be looking at the product, I won't be looking at it as myself. I'll be looking at the simple persona that we have, making sure that he can use the product.
So since we are creating this for an internal audience, right, and we may push it live, but at the same time, I hope whether it's people looking at this from outside our company or people inside of our company, they've heard, like if they were to do a keyword cloud right now, hopefully the two keywords that would come up is simplicity and customer, right? Yeah. Those would be the two words we want to say has to be the biggest, biggest keywords that we've used so far, because that's what needs to be emphasized. So if you're in our company and you don't believe about customers or you don't believe simplicity, please raise your hand so we can talk to you, right? Like, because that's what our driving force is, are those two things. And you've talked about simplicity, as our litmus test, and using some of those, like even it's almost, I won't say I'm more technically advanced than the non-technical person. So it's almost like me and you looking at the platform, right? That's kind of how we've positioned it. Whether we want to use other people's names or not, it's, can Michael use it and can Abdul use it, right? Like, because I'm not as technical as you. I'm more technical than most of the agency owners, but we'll both be able to pull ourselves out and be like, hey, can we get FTP access easily? Can we turn off or restart Nginx if we needed to? Whether I know what that means or you know what that means or whatever, right? We got to figure those things out, I think. So the next thing I think that is going to make us unique, and we see it with Monday.com, is the ability to ship fast, right? We're not going to have any release cycles, and everything's based on like sprints, right? So why don't you talk to that a little bit about how we're focusing on that?
I think the thing here is that I personally, and I think Michael as well, we don't believe in release cycles, like big release cycles. So we are building this product, we'll release it, like we'll push the code or we'll release it 3 months, 6 months down the line. I think not both of us, like we really don't believe in that. And it's not just us, that's not how products are made now. Like this isn't the norm now. This used to be the norm maybe 6 years, 5 years ago when there were big enterprise products. And it might be still for enterprise products where you have like a huge product, you cannot ship out a small version, you just have to, like it's a banking product or things like that where you have to ship out the whole version. For us, it's very important. That's why we right now have an alpha MVP that we are doing, right? The alpha MVP, the minimum viable product, but we named it alpha because it's a very basic version. Then we have a beta MVP, the next phase, and then we have a MHP. So what I named that is like it's a minimum happy product, right? This is the product where if we give it to both of these personas that we have, if we give it to Michael or if we give it to Abdul, like they'll be happy with using, okay, this does most of the things that I need. It doesn't do everything I need right now, but it does okay. It lets me do the core functionality, right? So because that's how the first three phases are. But these first three phases don't mean that we release the product on those phase end dates, right? The idea is that we enter into the phase. Right now we're in the alpha MVP phase right now, which ends on the 31st of May. The release date is 1st of June. That's when we'll go into the beta MVP phase for June, and in July we end the MHP phase. So the idea is the end date of that phase means that that phase has to complete. Now for that phase to complete, it doesn't mean everything gets released at that time. It means we're in that phase and we keep releasing the product as we get developed. So now right now maybe it's like we are releasing code or merging code into a master branch at the end of the sprint, because the features in itself are quite big right now because they are the core features. But going forward, as our sprints go forward, we will even be pushing code every day. Like if you're a front-end developer and you have a task of creating a new page, it's done, it's QA'd, it's pushed. It doesn't wait for all the other things that have to be done in the sprint. If it's done, if you're on Monday and you get it done on Monday, it's QA'd on Monday, it gets pushed. So customers can start using it. We are implementing CI/CD systems. We are implementing versioning systems. So if something goes wrong, it would be very easy to pull back as well, right? So, but we won't wait for, let's complete everything at the end of the sprint and then push it. We have 5-day sprints right now. So even though, and that's the reason the standard is 10-day sprints. We've kept it at 5-day sprints just to kind of push that agility mindset that we have to do things fast. We're not waiting for 10 days to think of something. We're just getting them done, pushing them. So right now I understand that the code is pushed at the end of the sprint, but as we go forward, like in MHP phase, I'll be expecting, and I think Michael, like you also expect that, is that we will be looking at new features, new small things. Like definitely those features won't be huge. We won't be releasing huge things. We will be releasing small things. That's what I think we've told the team as well, that don't think on huge features. If there's a huge feature, divide it down, make it into smaller parts that can be done into sprints. In sprints, you can do it and you can push it.
Yep, exactly. And I think the last thing you want to mention here is everyone is a product owner of their modules. So why don't you dive into that and talk a little bit of what that means? So
I think this is something that we will be getting into as we go forward. Right now, this doesn't it's not like right now, I won't say it's like we're there yet, because this is like we're just starting. So I think the main thing is that how I see every developer or every team of developer squad, that's how, like right now the team is 15 people growing, and with the numbers that we are seeing and how we think that BionicWP will go, like we talked about 12 months. So 12 months down the line, the team structure might be very different of what it is now, because we do want, I personally, I think this isn't a discussion that we have had a lot, but I think we'll be having it when we get there. But I see it as squads of developers, small teams, 2 developers, 3 developers, squads, and each squad is responsible for few features on the platform. So that squad is the product owner for that. They have to think of, okay, what are the new things we can add to this? How can we improve this feature? Okay, let's say you are a squad, you are 3 people, you are responsible for the DNS feature, the redirection features, and let's say you're responsible for the user logs, so bringing in all the logs from the servers. If these 3, so it's your job to think, okay, how can we make this better? This chart, let's make this chart better. Like see user feedback, because we'll be collecting a lot of user feedback for that. And I think me and Michael, I think on transparency, we've been kind of we are very transparent on these things. So it won't be like this user feedback comes to me or Michael or the product guys, and it does, and we feel everything will come down to everyone. So it would be rooted
everybody
down.
Will see it.
Everybody will see it, like what people are saying, and any feedback that comes for your features that your squad is responsible for, you can pick it. You can make out features and you can work on it. So it's your job okay, this is the feedback I got. How can I make sure that I improve my modules on this? So that's the idea, making each squad the product owner of their modules, whatever modules they work on. So the idea is we have so many simple, small squads, improving each part of the platform, each functionality of the platform. So what happens after that is, if you have 5-8 squads, each of them thinking on their own, improving their own module, that just keeps the whole platform being improved.
Yeah, no, that's great. I think as we wrap up here for our people that are support people, developers on our team here, do we know what necessarily what the next 12 months looks like? No. Do we have projections? Yeah. So far, knock on wood, we have meet and beat those projections at this point.
Yeah.
Hopefully that we maintain that and continue to see that. We're going to be very transparent with our team in regards to our revenue, number of sites that we're hosting, all of this stuff, so we can all see the power and growth that we're having. And one thing I know that won't change over the next 12 months is our focus on clients and a focus on simplicity, like we've said. And there's a reason we talk about that over and over. And hopefully you hear that throughout all these videos that we create, that, hey, we had this customer journey, or hey, this customer, blah, 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 or hey, needs to be more simple, or this is how simple it is, this is why we use it, or whatever, right? Simplicity is key. While it might be a complicated problem, it needs to be simple to the customer. And I think your tech debt or your technology debt is like the worst debt. You have to pay the interest later. I think that's such a great visual for everybody. So as we build out things, or as we support our clients, let's do it right the first time so we don't have to come back and do it again.
Yep.
Any last parting words that you want to kind of shout out to our team?
No, I think I'll, again, like you mentioned, technical debt. So I think I'll just mention that this isn't a debt that we are ready to pay, kind of a thing, because the problem is that right now with our industry, there are so many options, right? So people will come, they will test. If they don't get what they need, we've lost that customer.
They'll
kind
leave.
of thing.
Exactly.
They'll leave, right?
Yeah.
So we have to make sure that whatever we are doing, there's nothing like, oh, we'll fix that later, right? We have to make sure that that's not the mindset that we have. Do it. Take one more day, take a few more hours, do the job right the first time, right? Because if you do something in a hacky way, it would come back, and you'll have to, today you save maybe a day, you'll have to give it a week next time when it comes around, right? So it's better to just do it and just make sure that it's done properly the first time.
Exactly. Cool. Well, that's why we're building the platform, and what we hope to do in the next 12 months and what it looks like. Glad you're part of the journey. Let's crush it. That's all I'll say.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a good one.